The airport was crowded, passengers rushing to their gates. Security checks were routine, until one K9 suddenly froze near a blue suitcase. Moments later, the dog barked furiously, drawing the attention of officers and travelers alike. When the case was opened. What they found inside shocked everyone and changed lives forever. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The airport buzzed with energy that morning. Families hugged goodbye at the entrance. Business travelers rushed with rolling bags, and loudspeaker announcements echoed through the terminal. Luggage carts rattled across polished floors, blending with the constant hum of voices and footsteps. Amid the chaos, officers in Navy uniforms stood alert, scanning the crowds. Among them was Officer Kelly with her partner Rex, a trained K9 German Shepherd. His sharp eyes darted from one passerby to another, his nose twitching as he sniffed the air. For most passengers, security checks felt routine, barely worth a glance. But for Rex, every bag, every cent told a story. His job wasn't about routine, it was about instincts that had saved lives before. That day began like any other. No one in the terminal knew it was about to turn into a story they would never forget. As Officer Kelly guided Rex through the security zone, his steps slowed. His ears perked, his body stiffened, and his nose pressed low to the ground. The crowd moved around him, unaware that something unusual was unfolding. Then Rex stopped cold in front of a navy blue suitcase, sitting by itself near the inspection area. His nostrils flared, and with a sharp bark he pawed at the bag. The sudden noise startled nearby passengers. Heads turned, whispers rose. Rex's barks grew louder, more insistent. He circled the suitcase, his tail rigid, hackles raised. Officer Kelly tugged gently at the leash. "What is it, boy?" she asked, her voice steady but tense. Other officers quickly noticed and moved in, securing the perimeter. The suitcase didn't look dangerous, just ordinary luggage. But Rex wouldn't back down. Whatever was inside, he was determined everyone would see it. Passengers froze as more officers rushed to the scene. "Clear the area," one commanded, his voice echoing through the terminal. Families clutched their children, travelers dragged their luggage away, and soon a wide circle formed around the suspicious suitcase. Officer Kelly knelt beside Rex, who still barked furiously at the bag. His nose pressed against the zipper. Then, he growled low, refusing to budge. Kelly's heart pounded. In years of working with Rex, she had learned one truth: he was never wrong. The suitcase was carefully lifted and carried to a secure inspection zone. Every officer's eyes stayed locked on it, their hands hovering near their belts. The atmosphere thickened with tension, whispers rippling across the watching crowd. No one knew what was inside. Drugs? Explosives? Contraband? One thing was certain: Rex had sensed something no human could. The suitcase sat in the middle of the inspection zone, surrounded by tense officers. Travelers stood at a distance, watching with wide eyes, their conversations hushed. The air in the terminal felt heavy, every second stretching longer than the last. An explosives expert approached, slipping on protective gloves. His tools clinked softly as he knelt by the bag. "Could be drugs. Could be worse," he muttered under his breath. Officer Kelly tightened her grip on Rex's leash, feeling the shepherd's muscles quiver. He barked once more, sharp and urgent, then whined, refusing to look away. The expert slowly ran a scanner over the seams. Nothing obvious showed up, but the dog's relentless signals kept everyone on edge. "He's onto something," Kelly said firmly. Passengers covered their mouths, bracing for what might happen. To them, this bag could hold anything, from dangerous explosives to a deadly secret. Everyone held their breath, waiting for the moment. The zipper was pulled. The explosives expert's gloved hands hovered over the zipper. The terminal was silent now. No chatter, no footsteps, only the faint hum of the airport speakers. Slowly, carefully, he pulled the zipper open. Every officer leaned closer, their hands ready. Passengers craned their necks, some recording on. their phones expecting to see bricks of drugs or something far worse. But as the lid folded back, a collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Inside the suitcase, nestled among crumpled clothes, was a small child. No older than 3, her tiny body curled tightly, her face pale, her chest rising with shallow breaths. "Oh my God," one of the officers whispered. Kelly's knees went weak as Rex barked, his tail wagging furiously. He had found life, not danger. The airport erupted in shock. What they had discovered was far more horrifying and heartbreaking than anyone had expected. Officers rushed forward, their training forgotten for a moment as instinct took over. One gently lifted the little girl from the suitcase, her tiny arms limp against his chest. "She's alive," he breathed, relief breaking through the tension. Paramedics, already on standby, hurried in with oxygen and blankets. The child stirred faintly, letting out a weak whimper as a mask was placed over her face. The crowd watched in stunned silence, many with tears in their eyes. Investigators swarmed the suitcase, uncovering small items tucked beneath the clothes, documents, false IDs, and signs of trafficking. The reality sank in. This wasn't just a lost child. Someone had hidden her, intending to move her unseen. Rex whined softly, pressing his nose to the child's tiny hand before she was carried away. The truth was undeniable. The canine hadn't just prevented a crime. He had saved a life. For a moment, the airport stood still. Then, as the paramedics hurried the child away, a wave of emotion swept through the crowd. Travelers wiped their eyes. Parents hugged their children tightly, and whispers of disbelief filled the terminal. Rex stood tall beside Officer Kelly, chest heaving, eyes locked on the child, until she disappeared through the sliding doors. Then the applause began. Soft at first, then louder, spreading until the entire hall echoed with clapping. Officer Kelly knelt beside her partner, rubbing his neck as tears welled in her eyes. "You did it, boy," she whispered. "You saved her." In that moment, Rex wasn't just a police dog. To everyone who witnessed it, he was a hero. Days later, the story spread far beyond the airport. News outlets called Rex a miracle worker, and families across the country praised the K9 who refused to ignore a single suitcase. For Officer Kelly, the memory of that day stayed close to her heart. She often looked at Rex and thought about the little girl whose life had been spared. Heroes don't always wear uniforms or stand on 2 legs. Sometimes they walk beside us on 4 paws. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories.